This is Brent Brinkley. This is my video presentation of the research paper that I chose, which was The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, out of the American Literature book by Washington Irving. The reason I chose that story was because it was one of my, probably out of every story that I read through the quarter, out of the book, it was definitely one of my favorites. It always has been something, the Legend of Sleepy Hollow, or the story of the Headless Horseman, has always been something that's been appealing to me. So that's the reason I chose the story. I feel like I have more knowledge on it, a better understanding, even though I would say, after doing the research on the paper, looking at different writers' opinions, different people's opinions, through different websites, that the story definitely means a little bit more. I'm still not quite sure what Washington Irving's, what he truly meant, if he did have a sole purpose of why he wrote the story, if he had a reason why he wrote it, or heck, if he was just, writing like a lot of other people do, just to be writing, and he just had a story. A lot of different people had different opinions, but I chose, we had the examples to choose out of the stories, and I chose the character versus self. And because after reading the story, after doing the research, you can clearly see that the Ichabod Crane, which is pretty much the main character in the story, has a not really confidence issues, but he definitely has issues in the fact that a lot of ways he thinks he's better than a lot of people in the town because of his education, because of his upbringing, because he comes from a big city, knowing that he went to college, knowing that he was brought there to teach, and it's not hard to tell that in the story, just the way he acts. He thinks he's better educated. He knows how to properly court a woman, or cordially dance, and just do all kind of different stuff. And you can plainly see that this was part of the main downfall of him. Also, because of the fact that he put so much self-confidence in himself. He already had so much self-confidence that Katrina Van Tassel, which was the female main character in the story, in which it didn't take him long to fall in love with, mainly because that she was a beautiful girl, it says, but also because she had a very rich family, and that was something that he was also very interested in, and definitely wanted to be a part of. Unknowing, though, that to begin with, that Brom Bones, who was another character in the story, who played a significant role, was also in love with Katrina Van Tassel, and they were an item pretty much, even though they weren't together. Ichabod, thinking and knowing that he was smarter than Brom Bones, that he was more intelligent, that he had more class, since he was from a bigger town, a bigger city, figured it wouldn't be no problem to take Katrina and have her for himself, unknowing to himself that Katrina was still in love with Brom Bones, or was in love with Brom Bones, and basically was trying to make him love her more by showing interest in Ichabod. And then we get to the major downfall, the whole plot of the story, the whole scheme of the Headless Horseman, which was a legend in the town of Sleepy Hollow. It had always been a legend about a Hassan soldier who lost his head in a battle, and basically roamed the town, and it was just either a folk story or whatever they thought at the time, of just a old ghost story. And this was something that Brom Bones took advantage of, and because he knew that Ichabod was very superstitious, really deep into ghost stories, really deep in anything that had to do with demons or witches, and it even stated in the story how he would love to sit around with the women of the town, and they would trade stories of ghost stories, and he would come back with stories of witches and tales, the stuff he brought from the city, because of just what he liked. showed a real interest in it. And after Katrina Van Tassel turned him down, he basically proposed to her, or I don't know if it was as much marriage as it was just like an engagement together. And she turned him down, and then you have the whole scene with the Headless Horseman with him, unknowingly, if once it was all over with, once they never saw Ichabod Crane again in the town, I guess Washington Irving kind of leaves you open to whether or not it was actually Brom Bones dressed up, playing a joke, trying to run Ichabod out of town so he can have Katrina for himself. And I know I wrote a lot of basically the story in the essay, and it was kind of my way of expressing it. Because when I start writing, I start thinking about it, I have to put it all on paper. And but I hope I was able to at least get out the part of the argument that I was trying to state, that that Ichabod was the downfall of Ichabod, and that it was nothing more, nothing less. His belief, his superstitious belief, his over confidence in himself that he had control of the people in the town, is what led to what happened to him as a result in the end. And it's still a story that I enjoy. I love the old Disney cartoon of the Headless Horseman, and I love the Legend of Sleepy Hollow with Johnny Depp in it, the old movie. I mean, it's just always been a story I've enjoyed and loved. And I hope the essay works out. I hope everything is good on it since I've redone it, and it shouldn't be a problem, and I appreciate it. So I enjoyed the class. Thank you for the time. Thank you for the help, and hope you have a wonderful holiday.